I paid off my grandfather's $1.5 million loan, and I decided it was time to move on to bigger pastures. So I went and got me a $1 million loan, and I have 2 years to pay it back in the great state of Missouri. Find out what happens in today's video. Well, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great morning / afternoon, whatever time it is for you guys. We are currently sitting here working on the John Deere 8345. Right now, it does have row crop tires on, but we need to take off the duals off the back. I only want single row crop tires because today we're going to go pick up something I've rented. We're going to do a little bit of side dressing. Because as you can see right here, 55 has corn on it, but yet 55 has terrible nitrogen. So we need to go around and kind of fix the nitrogen on that field and honestly fix it on a couple fields. So I figured doing some good old side dressing would be the best way to get it done. So let's go ahead and get these wheels took off of the side of this tractor and get this thing ready to go. We just got to start with taking all of these lug nuts off. Alrighty, just like that, we have the old tires off. Now we're able to just go ahead and take this and go to town with it. I just wanted to take off the duals because honestly I don't think we needed it on this tractor right now with the side dressing we're gonna do. And really, this is one of the first times I'm gonna be doing side dressing, so I'm kind of excited to see what new challenges this arrives. Can't forget about putting the four-ways on and of course the beacons up above. Alrighty, and here it is, a good old Demco side dressing bar. Now we did go ahead and pay for the rental of this. Is like $5-ish grand, so we paid a little bit of money for it, but hopefully it will be worth it. Alrighty, and after getting her full, we are good to head down the road. So another big thing we are going to look at doing and figuring out what we're going to do with it is we need probably a liquid tanker to transport fertilizer and all the stuff we're going to use to side dress. I'm just going to call it fertilizer. I don't really know exactly what you would use put in a side dresser. If you know exactly what you'd put in a side dresser, leave it on in the comment section down below. I'd love to learn a little bit from you guys. I can definitely say our soybeans up here have been looking pretty good. I'm excited to see what they end up yielding. Would like to next year probably put down a little bit of solid fertilizer down before we plant soybeans again, but we didn't know, of course, on the farm during the time when you'd put solid fertilizer down. Alrighty, go ahead and unfold this little sucker, and this should let us just put down straight anhydrous with this side dressing. So now we're starting to really get down there. So I know one big advantage of doing side dressing compared to normal spraying is, of course, you're putting it down there closer to the roots and actually putting it in the roots. So I'm excited to see what that does for the corn. And I do know some of this land we do have here is not the best in the world for yield. So I'm actually going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to put down a custom application in some of these areas just so that we're putting down a little bit more and hopefully getting a little bit better of a yield. Because the better fertilizer you put on corn, the more of a yield you'll get, in my opinion. And just like that, it took us a little to no time to get the first field fully anhydrous. Yeah, 2 fields are completely good to go. Next place we need to hit would be 30 or 22 and 26. Which I'm curious on why there's that mixture, but we'll find out when we get there. All right, and that's a little bit of a trip in front of us. Hopefully it won't take that long to get there, but I know it's going to take a hot minute to get there because that is our farthest away farms, but also right now our most crucial farms to make sure we get something out there. Also, I need to take account on like what kind of weeds that we see out there. What are weeds? Those are kind of my main concern. So we'll just kind of see what's out there. Alrighty, as you can see, we're finally here out in the field 22. We're going to get this thing started, and I think we're going to go ahead and put side dressing down on both this field and the other field. So with no further ado, let's get them done. Alrighty, so I just stopped for a little bit, had to get my wife to bring me all the way back to the farm. So we had to pick up ourselves a tank of fertilizer. So we did end up paying a little bit of a price for, I think, $5,000 just for the tank, and I don't know how much for fertilizer. We haven't paid for it just yet. We are going to pay for the fertilizer. It's just going to be later on after we've used all the fertilizer we need. Then they'll send me the bill for the year, which I do think we're coming up pretty close to being done with the side dressing of these fields, or at least the first field. We did end up using almost one and I don't know, about a quarter, about 75% of a tank on it. So that means that first one's going to need about a full tank every time we do side dress or something like that, which isn't that bad overall the field. So right now we're using our good old Peterbilt. I wanted to use the semi truck, not the pickup truck, because I know this thing weighs a crap ton. And plus, when you own semis like this, you got to use them sometimes and make sure they keep their gears lubricated. So now this is the next field right here we'll be working on, and it shouldn't take us too much longer of getting this other field done. I just wanted to get this down here because we did run out pretty quickly. Just go ahead and turn on into here, and the tractor's sitting up here waiting on us to pull up so we can start loading it up. First thing we're gonna do is fire this thing on up. That thing's good to go right there, and we'll go ahead and start the tractor back up and see where we need to sit. I know there's a certain way we have to load this thing up, and it looks like I have it put on the opposite way to load it. We are good to go. We got this thing fully filled up. Now it's time to get back out there into the field, do a quick little bit of a turn. All right, I got the monitor pulled up here while we're driving over there to the other side of the field, because as you can see, all this has kind of been fertilized. I need to reset the tank. All right, reset that monitor right there. We'll hit that button, go ahead and let it start unfolding. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna pick right back up on the same-ish line that we were hitting beforehand. So now that we got this thing refilled, let's go ahead and get this thing finished. Alrighty, and just like that, we're done putting side dressing on. I'm trying to drive around the edge of the field now where that the yield will be guaranteed to be a little bit lower. Trying not to run over too much of this valuable corn. Throw the blinkers on because we're leaving this driveway. And probably next time we'll come back down this way is whenever we get our sprayer. And hopefully it'll be pretty soon. We'll get the sprayer out and start spraying the weeds. Now, see, one issue with this place is we cannot actually hold our semi-trucks here, and that is going to be a really big challenge for corn harvest this year. And one of the reasons we can't hold our semi-trucks here is because of that little bit of an incline we have right there. That's a big incline for those trucks to go up and down, especially when they're loaded. I've been told that they've never once, the people who originally farmed this, stop. Need to switch this over. Switch this to Kenny's field. There we go. Press. All right, there we go. We'll turn off the four ways. We don't need those on. Put that in. We have 1,689. So 93%. Put that down. Right now, we're still putting down about 177, which honestly, it looks like it wants me to up it just a little bit. So we'll up it just enough. We'll put 190 down. Alrighty, let's see what that does. So far, so good on this field, and hopefully Kenny's field ends up doing pretty good. Now, the reason we do call this Kenny's field is because that's the farmer who owned it was named Kenny. He ended up getting out of farming a couple years back, so we just kind of took it over because of that. Alrighty, and just like that, we are now done. Oh, we don't want to hit that by accident. There are four ways on like that. Good there, look that way. Car going that way. No one's coming from that direction. So what we're going to do right now is probably just take this and sit out there in the field and have my wife come pick me up after I've dropped it off. We are going to take the semi truck back at least, and I don't know, we'll either pick it up today or have one of the employees come back and pick it up and take this back to town, or back to the rental. Pull on into this field right here. I got a little bit of chance. I want to take a quick little peek at something. All right, shut the door, lock the key. All right, key it up, there we go. And as normal, take the key, put it back in the back behind the rates. Alrighty. Wow, this is a nice little chunk of land right here. It's got some good mildew residue right here. Would be interesting to see what this right here would run. 1.1 million. 1.1 million for that land. Wow. Man, it is a good piece of land though. How much are they leasing it for? Because it's nothing in the ground there, so it might be on the leasing market. What field number is this? 23. Let's look at the leasing market because that's 23 filled. 23. Lease for. Okay, let me go home and think about that because that's not a bad price. Only $11,000. Probably could get something planted in there like wheat or something like that pretty quickly. But in the meantime, we need to head on back to the farm, get the old Pete fired back up, let her start warming up. We do have some issues with weeds in this field. It is pretty obvious. Right here you got some more of your water weeds or kind of weeds you don't want. Also need a little bit of fungicides. I can see a little bit of trace of southern rust coming in here, but nothing too severe. Alrighty, we'll leave that back there. Hopefully it's good enough back there in the back that we don't got to worry about anybody seeing it and wanting to come mess around with it. I don't like it when people start messing around with my equipment. Alrighty, got the Peter built. Now we're good to go. Head back down the road and on to the next job of the day, which is probably going to be some type of spraying herbicide. Alrighty, so we just paid $30,000 for all the fertilizer we ended up using, and now we have ourselves a load of herbicide. Of course, haven't paid for it yet. We gotta wait until, or we paid for a little bit, honestly, probably about $10,000 worth of it, just to give them a little bit of a down deposit on the load. But we're gonna have to pay for the rest of it as we use it and return what we have not used yet later. One thing I definitely would like to do is possibly get like another one of these tanks and put it on the back of here again, just so we have more tanks to be able to move more herbicide, more fertilizer, and more stuff like that. Go ahead and turn on in here, got the engine right there. Alrighty, so next big job of the day would be getting on up into the sprayer, and let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Now, of course, this is a John Deere 4730. I can't wait to use it. Honestly, I've never used one of these tractors, so I'm excited just to be able to use a different type of sprayer. Start loading that up. All right, we're filling that in. We got at least a couple of good loads inside of here. We're good to go here. So just take a little bit of a quick peek. So this is what will show us like where our bad places are with our weeds. So 46 has some bad weeds in it. 51, yeah, we have some really bad weeded areas in some areas. So let's actually go ahead and start with, honestly, I'm thinking we go from here down this way, pick up those, come back up this way, pick up these two. So we're not going to start with like all these right here. Unless, depending on how many times we have to come back for unloading or loading up. And I will say it's definitely been a little bit slower of a day here on the farm, but there's a lot of chores that need to be done, and spraying, of course, and putting down side dressing are necessary things we have to do here on the farm. All right, go ahead and expand the wings all the way out. With it being beans, I kind of want them a little bit more flush. Don't really need it curled at all. Oh, again, I'm bad about this. Monitor. Push this to the ponds. Play pond. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and get all these weeds sprayed out so that we're done with all the weeds in all the farms. And just like that, all the fields are now sprayed and de-weeded. We don't got to worry about spraying for weeds anymore, and we are good as of now. Now I got to call them up and pay them. We ended up taking about 2 loads from the semi truck in total. So we're probably going to be looking at about another $45,000 spent on just herbicide this year. But the farms are looking incredible, and now hopefully they're a little bit stronger and they'll last a little bit better. Pull on into the farm here, and we are good on this end. I think it's time to park this back up, and we are done. Now I do actually have something coming in here in a little bit. Semi truck, actually let me rephrase that. I've got to go pick it up with the semi truck, and hopefully it is going to be able to help us out with our chores this year on the farm. Let's go ahead and take this off. All right, just gotta take it in here. You gotta be careful. These are heavy as I'll get out, and we're just gonna kind of move it on in here to the back of the shed where it will sit until probably next year. Just extend the boom out. Perfect. Good there on that end. So we're good with this. We'll just go ahead and shut the old John Deere down. All right, next task we gotta do today is, let's go ahead and head back over there. I'll get my wife to take me over there and pick up our John Deere and actually take back the attachment. All right, my wife just left. While she's left, I'm just going to take a little quick glance. Yeah, we still got some in there, but not much. Just want to take a quick glance over everything, make sure that she's good and there's nothing broken that we need to look at replacing real fast before we take her back, because we are on the hook for that. I mean, there's something about this machine, just the way it looks out here in the field, that just looks so beautiful. I do honestly love this kind of like area in these fields. But sadly, it's about time to put the duals back on her. Now that she's done her job of putting side dressing on for the year, she will be put the duals back on her, because tillage is right around the corner. And not only do we have tillage coming up, we also have planting. Wheat is going to be coming up pretty soon as well. Can't say I wouldn't mind buying like a set like this for the actual farm. Keeping one of these Demco side dressing bars for the actual farm wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. So ladies and gentlemen, while I'm driving the toolbar back, thank you ladies and gentlemen for so much love and support you show to me, my entire family here. We appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all guys in the next video. Peace.